Oogie boogie motherfuckers! Yeah, pyro! Oh.
So, what about your Halloween special?
Hello, what now? Once again, Chief Chortles rises from the grave on Halloween night to bring another special to life. We've seen enemies, tropes of horror, and even spent the night in a haunted mansion. But tonight, we've got a sequel on our plate. 3 years back, I made a Halloween special about haunted video game levels. Ever since, I've had traces of a follow-up in mind. So here we go. We're going in broader, cleaner, and hopefully funnier. As opposed to levels specifically haunted by something, we're looking at my favorite spooky levels. The kind you just look at and you know it's right for the darkest season of the year. I trust you all to know the gist by now. No rules, no lights, and no holding back. Let's go! Horror games always seem to get themselves caught in a particular kind of loop. The sick new roller coaster opening tonight called Gaming Fads. Good news, there's no line. Bad news, it derails before quitting time. You come, you play, you laugh, you scare your friends, poof! Never touching that shit again. Sure, there's still some fans of it after the hype, but it's low-key deader than a Charmander after the Ice Bucket Challenge. So while Twitter is where memes go to die, Mr. Minion gets some jollies playing with the corpses. Oh, wow. You're going back to Slender? Think we found a lowland slowpoke? Can't lie. I somewhat understand having a stigma for indulging in overhyped shit. But that's all cooled down, and now there's no shame in looking back. Oh god! So what the hell's going on in this game? Well, you're the stock silent protagonist of the week. Guess they sell those on the shelf now. Trying to walk away from the Slenderman, who I'm convinced is Scarface Scrapdoodle of Humpty Dumpty. Oh yeah, and for some reason, you're in a forest. A forest that, while borderline featureless, is incredibly creepy. This is just about the best place for a monster to stalk someone in. And boy, it's effective. It's as simple as collecting 8 pieces of paper in this poorly lit neck of the woods, trying to avoid Slendy's poker face, which gets increasingly harder as the game forces you to look around all over for the 8 pages. Oh, and that motherfucker can teleport, so don't be too confident in your control over the rulebook, buddy. I'd say it's heavy on atmosphere and tension, but that's like saying chocolate milk is heavy on chocolate and milk. That's all it's got, but it's tasty enough. Bottoms up. If there's anything the Sonic series often takes pride in, it's a laid-back nature. Even when it clings to the edge for dear life, you get the sense that everything's pretty chill. Whether said chill is splayed out on the guest bed, or slowly but surely time-traveling, racing, and atomic face-planting down your critical spine, it's there. I'm always relaxed when I sit down for some Sonic, even though I'm kinda supposed to be pissing out adrenaline. Yes, good sir, that is available in strange quality. So probably no surprise that my favorite level in the whole franchise keeps me as placid as a lake. Oh, Pumpkin Hill, take me away. You know, no amount of loaded retrospectives will change my mind. I love Sonic Adventure 2's treasure hunting levels, letting me explore wide open areas with great control and decent enough spoils. Don't need any damn shovel claws to dig that. The second Crack of the Knuckles is one of the most memorable chapters of the hero side story, and we have this fantastic stage to thank for that. Something I can only describe as Oogie Boogie's toy box. Pumpkin Hill showcases all the qualities the Emerald Hunting stages wear on their sleeves and ups the ante. It's a gigantic gigantic collection of mountain formations decorated with buckets of spooky knickknacks. And goddamn, it's making me want a bag full of candy. This is without question the most festive entry on this list. Every last little bit captures the lightning that fills the Halloween night sky inside a jack-o'-lantern. Attractions include a pumpkin patch, a church complete with cemetery, and good lord, even a train. It's really a treat to explore this place. In fact, that's pretty much all I do. Every time I revisit, I end up ignoring the emerald pieces entirely and spend hours flying around, collecting rings, and soaking in all the great atmosphere. I never get tired of it. Oh, the hills are alive with the sound of...
I ain't gon' let it get to me, I'm just gon' creep down in Pumpkin Hill, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here.
A fucking rap song?
Whose power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I'm gonna hold my head, cause I have no fear.
And they say perfection's not a thing. As the world's oldest and most affordable Ghostbuster, coming in at just a goddamn quarter a job, Pac-Man naturally sees a lot of supernatural. He and ghosts go together like SJWs and Bleach, though the original idea of Pac-Man was eating. Don't bother me, I'm eating. With the introduction of the World Series, stuffing our faces took a backseat to scraping with new ghosts like Orson and Spooky, both of which forces a trek to Ghost Island. But it's the second time around where things climax. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghost Bayou. Oh, how time can affect us. The final level of Pac-Man World 2 is like one of the rare childhood bullies that actually learns to grow up. I hated this level when I was younger, and I'm sure all two of you watching that even had this game back then share my sentiments. But I come back years later to see a well-aged and likable stage. As the last trial set by Spooky, Pac-Man must wade through the island's swamp and overcome Wormwood's crazy maze. Oh yeah, that's new. What is new is the size. Compared to the rest of the stages, Ghost Bayou is an enormous gauntlet filled with insta-kill swamp water, demanding jumps, and a lot of switch pressing. Not to mention, you'd better know how to adjust your TV's brightness, because goddamn, some parts of this stage are as bright as Ed channeling his inner woodpecker. It's a test of patience, stamina, and skill when you're going for 100%. Sounds like a pain, but it has generous checkpoints and plenty of delicious reward. I love getting to a pathway that has a lot of fruits. May take a while, but I'd be lying if I said it doesn't build up the final battle like crazy. You don't have to be cheap to pose a challenge. Here's looking at you, shithead. The very focus of varied level themes in games can never dwell beyond jumping distance of Mario. The Italian flea pretty much set the groundwork for conventional stage climates, to the point where they're bookmarked for reference, though he wasn't so for the spooky level type. Honestly, I'd credit Castlevania for that. So, while uncharacteristically late to the party, we now have a ludicrous supply of creepy Mario levels to choose from, keeping things main series for a change, and I'm hell-bent on appreciating the mastery that is the Ghostly Galaxy. Demolishing the traditional route of tackling a ton of ghost houses one after another, Mario Galaxy tightened it all up, with just having one extremely well-made and enjoyable ghost level. I knew from the beginning that I was gonna love this place. With 6 stars up for grabs, it's a primary galaxy that offers excellent thrills through great set pieces and houses some good variety. Seeing the first act pan out as a rescue mission to save Luigi from a haunted mansion? Ah, you guys. I love how quiet this galaxy starts out. The path that leads up to the mansion is made spine-tingling by the amazing interlude score that plays. The first step inside transitions to a fanciful tour inside a funhouse, with some playful boos, wacky gravity rooms, and the introduction of the Boo Mushroom. Next thing you know, you're racing the spooky speedster with pull stars through a starfield of bones and giant ham. The fuck? Later it comes time to take on Bouldergeist in one of Galaxy's most memorable boss battles. Throw in a trippy Matter Splatter segment and some of the most dickish prankster comments in the whole game. Man, it never leaves your head. All this and more make the Ghostly Galaxy my favorite level the first game has in store. Short and sweet, and I do like sweet. It's good to know your roots. Watching that big old historic tree in the backyard grow forever is all we can ever hope for. Last thing we want is the neighbor kids coning in stickers and paint. Seems we're flying all over the place with these levels, huh? Well, I honor the traditions, so let's go back to familiar territory. Spooky and scary, when they're not with skeletons, often trace back to the always classic haunted house. It's pretty much the staple. Rare that I don't immediately flock to Luigi's Mansion, but now I'm just being cheeky. Mad Monster Mansion, folks. There's always a haunted mansion somewhere in these things. Maybe Eddie Murphy's hiding in the toilet. Seeing how Banjo-Kazooie is pretty much Rare's own Super Mario 64, it's no surprise that we'd see the googly-eyed stepbrother of Big Boo's haunt pass through town. And man, he's a cool guy. He's bigger, smarter, and you can bet he'll pay for dinner every time. Mad Monster Mansion is a delightful blend of vintage horror decor and tasteful funhouse-like architecture. Instead of trying to scare us, already had enough of that shit with a shark, it does all it can to celebrate the joy of Hallows' Eve. And it's contagious. It's a great balance of fun jiggies, flexible exploration, and unforgettable points of interest. Special mentions to the hedge maze and especially the haunted church. I love these segments. Oh, except for the teehees. Fuck those guys. Perhaps it's the horror movie buff in me, but I can't help but feel like I'm exploring an old spooky set from one of Universal's Golden Age chillers. Damn, I wish there was a way to play this in black and white. And I would totally buy giant speakers just to play this music out on my porch on Halloween night. Grant Kirkhope, you sexy beast! I've noticed something. Definitely not the first, but you ever stop and looked at the amount of horror material centered around children, both in fiction and in non-fiction? It seems kids are specifically spotlighted amongst horrific events. Probably because they're the most vulnerable. And projecting terrible things onto them gets the strongest reaction, period. So when a film or video game mixes in their sinister premises with the little bundles of joy, you can guarantee it's gonna disturb somebody, and Dead Space 2 just kills it. I'll admit, feels a bit odd to pay attention to such an overall minor area of the game, but Titan Elementary is chilling to the point where you'll look to the other side of the airlock for warmth. It was once an introductory school for children aboard the Titan station, but became one of the most horrible casualties of the Necromorph outbreak. The very concept is what takes it so far. I'm at a certain age where the memories of my years in elementary school have become sacred and irreplaceable. So seeing a place like that dragged to hell and back is an idea that's hard for my heart to even take. Walking through empty, decrepit classrooms, bloody, deserted playgrounds. You can even hear the automated announcer dismiss the kids for recess. Then you get attacked by the babies and kids in the form of packs and crawlers. Just, oh my god. Tag your hit. Tag your hit. Tag your hit. On top of being morbidly depressing, it's a scene that demands you stop and look at it. It's like some fucked up painting you gotta study for art class. From someone who loved his years in elementary school, it gives me the skeeves, and there's nobody left to return them to. No way in smuckerfuck am I coming to open house. Majora's Mask is one of the only games I know that can turn a sense of disturbance into misplaced fascination. Every last portion of this timeless classic disturbs me, endearingly so. It's beautiful in what it wants to tell us, and is alarmingly real in what it wants to show us. The 4 main areas are all freaky in their own special ways, but prepare to taste the fucked up cherry atop this harrowing sundae, presenting Ikana Canyon. Jesus Christ! The undeniable, nigh uncontested, most fucked up level in the Zelda series. Oh God, there's no comparison. I know a surprising amount of people that never finished Majora's Mask, despite loving it, and it seems this is the most common drop-off. I can't blame them. The final quadrant of Termina is the game's greatest challenge, to not only overcome, but to even begin. It's as if the concept of death finally brought out the final form. You ever hear of Dead? Yeah? Meet Super Dead. Like fucking No Man's Skies watching Dougal Dead. Once a kingdom torn apart by war and bloodshed eventually deteriorated into something that can't even be remembered. One day, it was just straight up abandoned. Now only the dead roam, unable to rest and unable to leave. There's a graveyard littered with stall children, a bone-dry riverbed surrounded by freaky hooded ghost spies, a paranormal researcher and his daughter being terrorized by Gibdos in an uncomfortably out-of-place music box house, an ethereal composer that banished the living and sold his soul to the goddamn devil, the well of I don't wanna fucking live no more, and to, Tingle's here. That's nice. I realize this all sounds IQ lowering levels of cliched, and yeah, it kinda is, but the execution is tops. As excellent as they are at crafting the vibrant and the whimsical, Valve is more than viable at adjusting the pressure. Hell, some would argue that it's their true expertise. Well, aside from making us wait for eons. But hey, look who's talking. Some of their big IPs are quite gifted in supplying an unholy presence somewhere within. Like the Ratman dens in Portal and... No, I can't.
Come on, tell us.
No! I just... Listen, there are some places we don't go to. The pinnacle of just flat out creepy. Half-Life 2 and its dreaded Chapter 6 have been breathing down my neck for a long time. Ravenholm is a legendary kind of spooky, not only being the most famous level in the game, but it instills great fear into the characters that surround you. You get the sense, even early on, there's something really wrong with this place. Once you're forced to pass through, it all unravels. This long-abandoned mining town served as a refuge for the Resistance, as an escape from the Combine's stranglehold over City 17. Then the headcrabs came and fucked it all up. Man, did they fuck it up. Think Ikana Canyon, but darker, bloodier, and even more desolate. Its strengths are similar in that you feel so alone, with only the haunting ambient noises to listen to. It sounds real, as if the apocalypse came and claimed the world, but forgot to take you with. And as incredible as it may seem, you're not alone. There's more zombies hanging around this place than the Walking Dead studio. Those guys are pussies. I don't see faster poison zombies up in that bitch. Fuck this job. Back, Demon Sonic's back! Guess I have this creepy doucher priest to thank for his shotgun.
Good.
Not even pro kill streak? Fucking cheapskate. when it comes to scaring me the most, the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise is unrivaled. Thank God. I can't give them enough credit. Any game series able to successfully turn our own fears of vulnerability and the unknown against us with the budget of a microwave pizza says more than they sell. Any one of the 4 Freaky Fazbear Funhouses could have easily taken the silver trophy, but this one goes out to the folks at home. There's nothing to joke about here. The bedroom from Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is the single scariest place a video game has ever put me in. Not disturbing, not creepy, scary. In the bloodiest game of cat and mouse ever played, it's our job, as the nearly blind and defenseless baby mouse, to keep the giant eldritch monstrosities called cats from goring our face. The whole layout of this kid's house is split up like a compass, with Chica and Bonnie covering the east and west hallways, Foxy sneaking into the north closet, and Freddy always respawning right behind you. You're pinned down with a godlike trap card, and left with only your flashlight and ears to keep you alive. Yes, I said ears. The reason it's so scary is because the nightmare animatronics telegraph nothing but the sounds they generate, whether it's the crunching of their footsteps or their own breath inches away from your tasty face. Make it go away. Tension through mysterious bumps in the night, pitch black darkness, and an overpowering sense of helplessness. It's ridiculously potent. Oh, and Fredbear, that fucker. I get enough of this at work. Only one way to wrap this all up. One last stop to take it all home. Let's spell it out, shall we? Ounce of ambience, drop of disturbing, splash of shock, flake of fun, and a taste of tension. Now, say the magic words with me. Biologic Space Laboratories. I cannot say it loud enough. The BSL research station from Metroid Fusion is a masterpiece among overworlds. I mean, Metroid as a whole is a top-tier world builder, but for the last point in the entire timeline, oh man, did they make it their best. As if the Galactic Federation didn't have enough fun fucking with alien hostiles, now they're just begging for apocalypse. The Biospace Lab is a cluster of numerous planetary ecosystems united together. This provides a huge body of diverse enemies and climates, but it's not the familiar faces we need to worry about. Enter the X-Parasites. They dominate the entire station. Their search for their own potential turns this traditional Metroid setting into a horror movie set. You are being hunted and even manipulated by these ever-evolving, identity-devouring blobs of unmerciful devastation, and in one of Samus's most vulnerable states in the series. Are you fucking kidding me? Despite being as linear as a twig, the BSL station progresses like a goddamn looping coaster with the pacing of a scripted nightmare that you can't escape. Coupled with the X's omnipresence, goosebumpy soundtrack, and everything going wrong all the time, you're carpooling with a sense of dread that never breaks for gas. Fucking SAX stalking me, electricity blacking out, Ridley's frozen today, my boss is a liar, Nightmare's fucking pissed, I'm out of candy, SAX had 10 babies, and I wanna go home. Keeping me on the edge of my seat while scaring me? Man, you just too good. This is being Fawful's Minion. Happy Halloween.